pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody had a chance to review the minutes for the last two meetings. Do the August 23rd meeting, the August 30th meeting, and then we will go on to our budget. So the August 23rd meeting, I was not here.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the August 30th meeting, this was the meeting primarily to discuss ordinances, but some other business as well.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes for August 30.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's that ordinance we passed for the spots on the third of that's what we were referring to.
You want to sign these since Lori wasn't here.
Okay, our budget adoption. Be a resolution R-09-2020-01. And the general fund, $311,338. Local roads and streets, $20,000. Motor vehicle highway, $38,300. For a total of $369,638 for 2022. And this is what we are submitting to the state,
Yes.
not necessarily what they will give us or what we'll
Right.
spend. So we need to adopt this
Yes.
in the form of resolution R-09-2021-01.
I make a motion, we accept the resolution.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, you guys sign that so much with this.
There's a aye, nay, or abstain signature.
Did you need the ordinance back?
Yeah. Just confirm that was the.
That's it, you know, this, that's no parking out there on the subdivision.
Okay, we'll move on to our reports. He is not here at the moment. Jennifer, did you have anything?
The only thing, I'll just give a quick festival update. The 200 block is full. The 300 block, which is the east end here of Main Street, I only have 2 left. 500 block is full, 600 block is full, 700 has 1 left, and the 800 block has 15 left. So we're doing pretty good at we're getting phone calls every day. So I think, yeah, better than. Sponsorships, I think we're going to be close to about 20,000, so which is a lot more than what I had expected this year since COVID. Our booth rental, what we've deposited so far has been $36,860. Sponsor packets and band packets have been sent out. Kids Zone, we've finally got the bounce houses and everything all straightened out, so they will be coming from A1 Entertainment, which is in Muncie, which actually the guy that owns that was one of our old vendors here in town. Best Way, they are going to donate 4 hand sanitizer stands. Each stand has 4 compartments, and each compartment has like 5,000 squirts. So he said if we,
different intersections around.
yeah,
Because they've already got them at the bathrooms, so.
right,
just
right.
extras.
So the maps or the flyers and the entertainment programs are ready. So if anybody wants to take any tonight, they're right here. You can print more, pass them out, take them places, whatever. So all that's been pretty good, I guess.
Mr. Jellison's not here either.
I got a question, Murray, for Jennifer. Did they get resolved on that cancellation thing that's on the website for the festival?
I don't know where that come up from, but we've contacted Google, we've contacted Hamilton County. We don't know. They're working on it.
Yeah,
So
it looks like a Google thing.
yes.
But here's the problem. My station, if you Google Noblesville Fire Department, the number that comes up is my station, which is a substation. That's not right, right? We've spent probably cumulatively, I don't know, 10 hours or more trying to get it resolved between people at my station, chiefs, people calling Google, people sending emails, stuff like that. So it may not be able to be
I don't know.
taken care of. If you
Yeah.
actually click the link that's referencing, it brings up our current dates and all that stuff. I don't know why.
We've gotten
the Google
several
results
phone
says-
calls today about that, and I don't know where it
it's
came.
just
Yeah.
Bad timing for it, especially with
Yeah.
this year and not having it last year.
The more people that flag it though as being incorrect, the better probably. So anybody that,
I was just gonna say, I just pulled it up because I was curious, I just saw the screenshot, and it does have at the very beginning that it's canceled, but if you go just underneath that, where it's visit hamiltoncounty.com, it does give the festival dates,
right,
so.
yeah, so you can, anybody can select those little 3 dots though and submit a report saying something is incorrect. So I would encourage people to do that and say, it's not canceled, please fix this. But yeah.
That's all I had, because I seen that, and I seen comments on there and different things, and it was just bad timing with everything going on, festivals and things. For that to have to pop up on ours.
And hopefully some of the advertising we're doing is countering that as well. We ran some paid Facebook ads. Jacqueline Dealer helped us with that, and had quite a bit of engagement with it, so we're gonna keep doing that a little bit. Hopefully we've got a big turnout even with the bad results, so.
Jennifer, I have a question, if you don't mind, concerning Jeff. Question number 1 is, why doesn't he have a time card, excuse me?
He does. All he has to do is, he knows where they are at.
Okay. And question 2, has he been clocking in lately?
He hasn't, but I know that one day he came in and done some work in town, came back in, and I asked him, I'm like, Jeff, did you clock in? And he's like, no. He's like, sometimes I do things without clocking in, so.
So then what does he do when it comes to getting paid? I know the last time pay thing we seen, he only had 7 hours for the entire year. Well, figure that up, that's 45 minutes a month. 45 minutes a month. I know he's not here tonight. I wish he was. So I just wanted to know if he's gotten paid any more other than the 7 hours that you're aware of.
I can pull it up to
Well,
see
no,
what
you don't
he's
have to
made.
do that. I just
Yeah.
wanted to know if in fact, why he's, if he's
When he clocks
clocking in
in,
and why he's not.
if he clocks in and I do payroll, then I cut him a check and put it in his folder.
Okay, I
So,
understand.
Do you think it's safe to say that he's working more hours than he's clocked in for?
I don't know, because it's evening,
Yeah.
he does evening. I mean, so I don't know.
I haven't talked to him in a while. I'll call him and see,
Wow.
try and get a idea of if he is actively working on several things that we don't know about, and if not, why not?
Well, I might ask you, Ray, when you was ordinance guy, did you take it on your own to drive up and down, down the alleys? and go- Well, to my understanding, that Jeff understood that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we made a little lap around town when we started,
I've got, as you all know, none of us here have the authority to tell our neighbors what to do. That's why we hire an ordinance enforcer. I have a neighbor next to me, and there's an alley, and then there's Princess Cherry's house. The neighbor beside me, I'm not gonna mention his name, but you can see it from the street, and you can certainly see it if you drive down the alley, weeds. And our ordinance says grass and weeds are not to be any higher, I believe, than 6 or 8 inches. 6. I went over there last night, my neighbor happened to be gone, and I measured his weeds. And by the way, they're longer from this table here to here. It's his whole garden, and his wide width of his house. And the weeds, every one of them was over 8 feet tall. Now, there's a big difference between 8 inches and 8 feet. The past 3-4 weeks, I have killed 6 chipmunks. And if any of you know about chipmunks, they just tear your foundation all to pieces. I've killed 4 voles. And then Saturday night, for the first time since 1975, I killed a rat. Now, I'm not saying this neighbor has rats. He's got a fancy, nice, much modern home, more than I got. But I'm getting tired of this, having to call up the ordinance enforcer, tell him go here and check that. That's not this board's job. It's his job to go up and down the roads and make sure. That's why we hired him, and we give him the power to enforce ordinance, and it's his job to keep the town safe, clean, and sanitary. And I don't think he's doing his job. I wish he was here tonight, because I'm really upset about it. 7 hours for the whole year, that's 45 minutes a month. I drove down through town just the other day, and I found 5 or 6 violations, and I only went about 3 roads. What's going on?
I don't know, I'll find out.
If he doesn't, he evidently is not he's not in it for the money. He's not a resident of this town. So I'm beginning to question his motive for wanting to be the ordinance enforcer. I don't know what's going on, but I tell you what, this isn't, it's not helping the town one bit by him coming in here. And even if he's doing it on his own time, I mean, I don't expect him to do nothing on his own time. That's why we pay him. And so anyway, I don't know if I probably should have waited till he was here, but I just wanted to make the board aware of what's going on. I know you're all aware of it, but I just wanted to be exact about it. I wish he was here tonight, because I'd like to said this to his face. So I just want the board to know I'm pretty upset with the whole thing. I don't know what to do about it.
I can talk to him, or I can give him your number, you can voice your concerns as well.
I appreciate that.
So,
Thank you, sir.
I'll give it to you. All right, anything else for Jennifer?
I don't know anything.
Are the phones ringing in? There had been a problem.
It's a crazy thing. I get, somebody will say something that the phone is not working right. I call it from my cell phone to see what's going on, and it always works right for me. So, So I don't know. But the individual that emailed the other day, Andy did, I got that email too, and so did Andy. So Andy had gotten it and contacted him.
Yeah, that's the reason I commented on it, because everybody was copied, and that way everybody could see that if there was an issue, it needed to be addressed.
Yeah. And well, I did call Endeavor, and I couldn't get a hold of Tanner, so I left him a message, and he hadn't called me back. So I was gonna have him check everything.
All right. Where was yours, John?
All right, I've got 3 ordinances here. I've got a water ordinance, sewer ordinance, and a ordinance adopting and regulating the administrative finance that incorporates the fees associated with hiring the town to do certain projects. So these are for your consideration tonight, but not to be voted on. These are simply for your presentation to review.
Do you think they're pretty close?
I think they're pretty close, but I want your opinion on a couple of them. Plus, we've got a question to be resolved as to prior practices with approving fees for the town utilities and the process that Taft was having you follow that we would need to discuss further than tonight.
Does
So,
any of this require a meeting, or do we handle with
I think we can handle it probably
email, phone?
email and phone with you.
All right.
But I just wanted to get a copy of this out to not, these are for
Sure.
board.
Are there copies for everybody?
There's copies for everybody, plus some extras for
All right,
us.
thank you.
So, those have been drafted, provided the information that was provided to our office. I wanted to give you an update. Taft has provided our office a file box of information. I've got a ordinance book that was provided to us that is in pretty bad shape. I just got it today.
That's one of the more recently updated.
Mhm.
Okay.
See, that one right there,
Sad.
that's the last update, so
Okay, well,
that's
it's,
the most updated we've got.
all right, understood, but it's in pretty bad shape. I just got it today. I was reviewing the other documents within their file system that were in hard copy that were delivered. I'm still not through the ordinance book to see if that's the one that I want to keep, or if I want to keep the one that was provided to me, because there may be pages missing out of the one that was provided. Once I cross-check them, make sure that I'm not missing anything important, I'll give the better one back, if that's appropriate. The other correspondence from Taft is electronic file transfer that they've sent over. We are working on retrieving those electronic files. Once that is done, we should be able to be up to date. Jennifer has provided our office the last 2 years of meeting minutes that I've reviewed so that I can understand exactly what's been decided in the last 2 years, what's currently outstanding. At the next meeting, we will have had an opportunity to put some questions together to make sure that we are fully up to date as to the status of outstanding questions and issues. There was, at the last meeting, a question brought up regarding annexation. And I was reviewing the minutes that were provided to me. From what I'm understanding, this is 100% agreed to annexation.
It's voluntary now.
Yeah, so 100%, everybody that's associated with it is agreed, will be signing off on it.
The one we were mainly targeting was the marina that you
Yep.
guys coming up to town.
Mhm.
But that opened up for a larger discussion about broader annexation, including the baseball diamond that we've got there.
Right.
Right, which I believe you all have been in contact with the county regarding the road.
Right, so we're working that's the different, we need to just, again, this is gonna be a phone call we're gonna have to give us an update as to who all is in agreement and who owns the entire contiguous path.
Sure.
We are reviewing, there's 3 different processes by which you can annex. Of course, agreed is the one that's easiest, but if there's individuals out there that are non-citizens of the town, or if there's vacant lots, you have to publish notice and do so,
Sure.
Things like that. So I need to know exactly who we are so we can choose the appropriate path to follow. And so it's not one size fits all as far as annexation. We have to know who owns them.
There should be, so there was about that in the TAP documents, correct? Like there
I
was,
still don't have all of the TAF documents.
Okay.
They're electronic. They have a electronic file system that they send you an email saying, sign up for this. We've signed up for it. We're waiting
Okay.
on the files to be available on their
there
system.
was, I mean, there's been, it obviously doesn't encompass everything that we're looking forward to, but as regards that property, I mean, there's even a continuity study somewhere that we paid for, and,
Yeah.
you know,
None of that's been made available to us yet. It's still, I suspect, in the electronic file system. They finally sent that over this week, this the end of last week. So we just have not had the opportunity to get that from them. So, I was provided an ordinance this afternoon. Is that on the table for this evening? Is that 445? Resolution R9, 2021-2.
yeah, about the American Rescue Plan.
Right.
funds.
I did find a few just grammatical errors in that,
Okay.
since I got it.
And then it also references a plan, and I'm assuming that does that need to be attached as an appendix to this?
It should be
or-
attached as an appendix,
Okay.
and I didn't have that, so.
Sure.
uh,
So this was something that
Just-
you had found that a lot of other communities are using, right?
Right.
So I guess if we can try and come up with something, I mean, I know we could probably amend as time goes on too, as far as the specific use of the funds, right? Because we don't know everything that we're gonna spend the money on.
We got equipment bills that are coming in.
I know.
That
Yeah.
are due.
Yeah,
Okay, I can tell you that I have not reviewed the plan, so I don't know how that works, because that has not been provided to us. But if I can review it, then we can have a response to you.
okay.
Because.
I mean, what's that, what I'm saying is, we need some kind of a simple document that actually has line items on it, correct?
Right,
Okay,
right,
I think we can come up with that.
okay. So, I'm just gonna recommend not to execute this tonight, based upon its current condition and the lack of an attachment.
And Jennifer, you said you thought that they'd be all right with 2 more weeks on the phone?
Yeah, I called and talked to him, told him what was happening, so I'll let him know tomorrow. I can call tomorrow, so.
Yeah, if we can get it ready for our next board meeting, I think that'd be ideal.
All right, camera contract. Have we gotten an updated contract on that, simply for the,
No, he hasn't been in contact with him.
okay.
I'll try to give him a call tomorrow.
Okay, have we paid for the study yet?
Okay. You haven't paid anything?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
we
know.
did.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I mean, he
did.
hadn't done anything.
It was,
Got it.
Well, we approved that in the meeting, right?
yes, we did. We approved it, yeah, so.
Okay.
Give him a call.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend that you get a contract for any work and don't pay anybody to do any work until you have a contract to do it. That's the attorney response to that.
Okay.
Did the prior tax attorney execute the community development block grant signature?
That's a good question.
Yeah, they did it.
Yeah,
We had to have it for, yeah, it's in our application. We'd have to get it from Klein Peter unless he sent you the application.
Yeah.
Because we had to have it for submittals.
Yeah.
So
They did.
it's been done.
Okay.
They did.
But
Okay,
the grant administrator has it. We don't have a copy.
and an update on the foreclosure, we have the foreclosure drafted, given the lengthy list of potential defendants in this case. We have not got it on file yet, we're getting addresses and such and trying to finalize all that.
Has there been any, what about?
Communication with the
looking in-
county?
Yeah, looking into some of these other governmental agencies' interest, if they would drop their interest.
I've contacted the state and the county. We are working on trying to get something. We don't want to wait to do the foreclosure until we get everything agreed, but from what I'm understanding, it should be pretty straightforward. So, we're working on that, that's our,
Good.
that. That concludes what I have.
Okay. We'll get on reviewing these. We'll get some communication across the council and Andy's thoughts on it as well, and then we will, I'll send you later this week.
Opportunity meeting times?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay. Move on to old business.
One thing, purchase agreement on the property sale. Do we have it?
Well,
Is it signed?
Well,
Okay,
but yeah, they've reviewed it.
okay, they've reviewed it?
No issues.
No issues?
No
Okay.
issues.
All
Nope.
right, sorry.
I
didn't mean
just said
to-
that, I was thinking about that
Yes,
yesterday.
no issues.
Forgot to ask
Moving
about that.
forward, everything's good.
All right. All right, thank you.
So these two ordinances, I guess you all didn't do these at the last meeting, the stop signs. Did you introduce
It
them?
was, yeah, we introduced them, excuse me, but there was some questions as to how to proceed with this, how we needed to do the ordinances.
I forget what he asked. Alex said something, I don't remember what he said about it. If there was an issue, they were tabled, because something he said, and I don't remember what it was.
It says tables.
Is in the manner to approve them. What was it, Jennifer, you thought we needed it?
Oh, waiving the reading.
Oh, yeah, we were
Because
talking
we had
about-
fine attached to it, but then.
Yeah,
There was a question about, it because we were moving it, not eliminating it, so that's why they're gonna reread them and pass them tonight, that's what it was.
Okay. So they're all right as written,
Mhm.
everybody thinks.
Second reading and then passage.
So we'll do this one first. Ordinance number 2021-08-01, an ordinance amending chapter 73 of the Atlanta, Indiana Code of Ordinances, Traffic Schedule 2. And what this does is remove the stop that we had formerly passed at Central and Monroe Streets. It's a north-south intersection, a two-way stop. And there's a myriad of practical concerns that prevent this from being an ideal location for that stop. So, get a motion to pass ordinance 2021-01, excuse me, 08-01.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We also have ordinance 2021-08-02, an ordinance amending chapter 73 of the Atlanta, Indiana Code of Ordinances, Traffic Schedule 2, which adds a north-south stop at South Central Avenue and Jackson Street. So that would then be a three-way stop right there.
Make a motion to accept that ordinance.
With a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Jennifer, do you have originals?
yeah.
So- Utility ordinances, we've already taken that. Any other old business that council does?
I have nothing.
Okay, new business. ARPA resolution. We already discussed that.
Yeah.
Andy, did you have a report before we went to?
I did want to leave a couple quick things, finishing up the water main leak. So lightning strike at the water plant, damaged the control panel, the influent meter, the generator head, the rectifier, voltage regulator, the transfer switch, control panel. So the control panel for the plant is fixed. We're waiting on the part, which should be any day, for the influent meter. Still have to get that done, get it programmed to the panel. The generator's repaired, the rectifier, everything's replaced, it runs, but at this point, we have to transfer the switch manually, but at least we have emergency power out there. And they haven't got back to me when the control panel will be in for the transfer switch, but as soon as it's here, they'll put it in. And the well 2 is on and back in service. And, I know it's pretty impressive from all iron. Everything's good. That's done. The damage to the pump station pylon at the lift station during the storm was covered under our maintenance agreement. Covered lightning strikes. So they've already fixed that with no cost to us. We don't turn anything into our insurance. It's in our maintenance agreement. So, then back to the water plant, when they hit the line at, on Central the other day, Duke Energy had a contractor out trimming lines. And when they killed the power, they single phased the plant, and we wiped every fuse in the plant out and damaged the float. So that's gonna be, I don't know, when I get the bill from that, because it's probably, I don't know, it's like $300 worth of little fuses, or like $10 a piece. And then, plus I had to have a tech come out, because I couldn't figure out what went on with the float, but the guy that actually put it in was the one that came out, so.
Yeah, the tank.
Yeah, it's actually, there's a little control module that's up on top, that's what got damaged, it's in the panel, I didn't even know where it was at, but, got it fixed and got it back into normal operation. We had a problem with the fuse holder that got burned. I thought it was more damage to the pump, but it was this fuse holder, it wasn't getting a good connection, but I didn't know if the council wants to contact Duke or for their contractor for the damage to the plant. I don't know.
They should have insurance, right?
I think so, I would hope so,
Okay.
but I don't know what it's gonna be. I mean, it's not huge, but I'm guessing it's, I don't know, $800,000. I haven't got the bill yet for the tech, because it was after hours. I didn't discover it until later, because I didn't even get it on, and I went out there and everything was dead. Then, Green Vista will be here Friday, depending on when the block is delivered, but that will be done by Tuesday over there.
Okay, got the block in. Or
It's being delivered. Yeah, it's on a truck, it's being delivered, it's supposed to be delivered. They're supposed to get it here on Friday. If it comes early enough, he's hoping it comes Thursday, they'll work Friday, Monday. If it's later, they'll work Monday, Tuesday, and get that done. Hendershot fixed the fence at the park, put the gate in by the path, or the opening by the path, put the gate in on the other end. Has fixed the fence on the Pee Wee field, the dugouts, but I wasn't out there today because I was on a leak, but they're coming back. If he gets the fence in, he needs, all the fence at the ball diamond should be repaired by the end of this week, he said. That's contingent on him getting this fence in that he has ordered. And Omni is scheduled based on rain, because we gotta drive across the big field to get the pole in, but everything is ready, locates are done. And we had to have the fence down, which Hendershot took that fence down back there, so it's ready to go on the pole. That's it.
Okay, before we go too much further, I did remember a few things that need to be discussed here. One is that I've been in contact with Shane Booker from EMA regarding our tornado siren. Contact's been made, we're loosely speaking working on it, but he seems to think that there's no way that it could be a programming error on their part.
Well, here's what I can tell you, because the last time this happened, Federal Signal came out. We paid the bill. Federal Signal said there's nothing wrong with this, it's a programming error. He's like, I'm gonna call you back. He went down there, fixed whatever it was, called me back and said, I'm getting ready to hit the signal, and then it went off. And it cost us, Jennifer got the bill, it was like $375 for nothing. So I can go over there right now.
I know, and that's what I told him. I said it all works appropriately. It's not like the siren itself is
No.
dead. So it's some kind of a communication error, whether it's on our end or theirs. We are both determined to figure it out. So we'll be working on that. Hopefully we'll have a working siren here before too long. Vandalism, we had discussed at that meeting on, what was it, 23rd? 2 weeks back. 30th. About the prosecutor basically wanting to push us into turning that vandalism into our insurance. And then they would just ask that the vandals pay our deductible, which does not make any sense. And what with all this other damage that we've had lately with storms and things, there are other claims. That doesn't seem right to me. I had spoken with Alex about it the other day on the phone. He said that in no world should the expectation be that we have insurance. However, it's in the town's best interest to protect ourselves by filing a claim. And then let the insurance company pursue their loss there. I'm waiting on a call back from the lady from the prosecutor's office. I've written up victim impact statements for both scenarios, whether we turn it into insurance or we don't. So do we want to give a hard answer, or do we want to base this off of any further communication we have with them? Have you been able to reach out to our insurance agent since we talked the other day?
Yeah, I'm waiting on, like, for the vandalism, you mean, for the,
Just to have that
just to
conversation.
have that, yeah.
Are we jeopardizing our policy here?
Let me contact him.
Okay.
Yeah, let me contact him, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not in favor of turning this into insurance. On the other hand, I don't know. We know we would get our money that way.
Here, I'll crash into your car. I'll pay the deductible.
I know.
I'm waiting on a phone call back
It's
from
like
them, so.
$8,000 worth of damage.
I know. So anyway, I've got it written up. I want to do the no claim, but we've got it written up both ways, so I guess we need more information maybe.
What was the prosecutor's reasoning for wanting us to turn it into our insurance company?
I don't know if that's just how it's typically done.
I've never heard of it done that
Because
way.
we're the
Usually the
government.
kids gotta pay restitution if whatever
No
damage,
kidding.
if they're caught and found guilty.
Right.
And I take it they were found guilty, the kids come forward and,
I think it's ongoing, but yeah. You're right.
be interesting to why they're thinking that way.
Yeah. So hopefully this lady calls me back. I left her a message, I think that was on Thursday or Friday. Haven't heard back, so,
Yeah, we've got enough issues, I think, turning claims into our insurance that we, our responsibility, let alone turn in something
I'm
that
with
gets
you 100%.
vandalized
Yeah.
intentionally.
The reason that Alex would have made the comment regarding it's in your best interest to do so is that in the event that there is no recovery, failure to promptly submit a claim will be held against you
Sure.
with your insurance. So if you know that you are gonna get paid through some type of agreement with for the child's parents, or something indicating that you will be paid for those damages. If not, and you fail to timely file your claim, you
Right.
will be barred. So, but you've got
Makes
to
sense.
balance that.
it makes sense.
And while I cannot speak for the prosecutor, what I'm suspecting is that your deductible was less than $1,000.
It's 1,000.
It's 1,000.
Okay.
It's 1,000.
Okay. Well, if it's, they may be trying to get it under the felony mark.
Well, I can tell you, it was so high, the detective amended it
Okay.
to felony,
Okay.
yeah.
they may be trying to get it under that marker so that.
Because if it's split there's 3 offenders. So if they were
Still wouldn't be,
divided up,
still wouldn't be enough.
right, for the 8,000.
It's about 3 grand
But if it
apiece,
was,
yeah.
if it was just the
1,000 split.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
So that, and again, I'm not a prosecutor, but
Right.
I imagine that's where he's trying to go.
Has anybody had any correspondence with these kids' parents concerning?
The police.
I haven't heard from
Because
anybody.
it's not, the
Yeah,
case
it's
isn't
not-
closed yet. I mean, the case is still ongoing.
It's between the prosecutor and them at this point, so.
Let me get this straight. If it's more than $1,000, it's an automatic felony for vandalism, is that what you're
I
saying?
need to confirm the exact dollar amount, but I suspect that's what they're trying to do.
I think it was if it was over 5 grand.
You know,
Okay.
I know, I can't, because he said something about it. I think it's if it's over 5 grand.
$5,000.
But yeah, I think. I'm sure they tell you.
I don't really wanna see these kids be turned into felons over some vandalism if they, you know, was taught their lesson and had to pay the restitution in some manner, but I hate to see them
Be
be
expunged,
charged.
be expunged when they're 18.
Yes.
If they don't get in trouble anymore.
So anyway, there's that. Third item, I'm sure you all saw. We did not receive our Okra grant. So we've got a meeting coming up, is that Friday? I can't remember.
Next Monday.
Next Monday.
See, here's the deal. So, I talked to Steve Brock. It was supposed to announce Friday, didn't announce. It's supposed to announce today, didn't announce. Now they say they're gonna put it on their website, but they haven't, but the Indiana Finance Authority has not said when they're gonna put it on the website. Steve says depending on what SWIFT money is, the SWIFT and, SRF, we may not even need the Okra money.
Right,
So
yeah,
the
Okra
big-
was something extra.
the
that
big-
we found
the big
along
one is
way.
that, but-
So,
If we are going back in for Okra, Okra has now brought back water, wastewater, and storm because of so much pushback, and they've got some extra money from somewhere. They got a round preliminary that has to be in October. So it would be very little for us other than doing the, public hearing. Then they're gonna let us know next Monday, 4 o'clock, another Zoom meeting. Any deficiencies we had, I went over them with Clyde Peter, and the biggest thing that hurt us was our blight points. Because we're in Hamilton County. We don't get the points other counties get, and most of the ones that were funded, and so you know, there were 7 communities funded, and 4 of those were Clyde Peters, out of the 7. So I don't think it was something he did wrong on the application. I mean, he got us the bonus points. He
just
did,
they're looking for something very specific.
well, it's the points, like the ones that were funded, you know, our blight points were 75 out of 150. And most of the other small communities that were in there were like 123, there was one like 140 something. So they were, I think the closest one to us was 50 points above us in blight points. And they won't tell you anymore how close we were, you know, they start going down, running out of money. I mean, if there would have been money, used to be they would tell you, we could have been the next project funded had they not ran out of money. But they won't tell you anymore.
But we will have the opportunity to at least find out some more information on Monday. So,
Yeah, and they'll tell you if she thinks you should tweak something or change something for your next application.
So that's all I had. Is there any other new business from the council? Any public question or comment?
Andy?
Yeah,
Hi. I was wondering if you had any update on the deaf child?
I have not.
Okay,
They're,
just figured I'd ask.
no, I know. I've ordered them. I mean, I'll call them again. They're,
It's like,
Backed up.
everything is like, if it's made out of metal, it is, I mean, I got brass I'm waiting on for the water company. I mean, if it's made out of metal, it is out there.
Okay,
Yeah, and
I just figured I'd ask since
'Cause
I was able to
it's-
come and
it's
they weren't.
a custom sign.
Yeah,
For the place we get it from, it's not anything that they even have in stock, or other order were stock signs, so. But as soon as I get it, I'll put them up.
Okay.
But I'll try to reach out to them and let you know, see if they've got anything for me.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good.
Can you review the process for the annexation again? Or you don't know yet?
Well, that all depends, there are several processes that we would have to use depending on the circumstances and who owns those properties. The annexation code is about 90 pages long,
Okay.
so for me to review that, again, I'd have to know where I was starting from based upon who owns those properties, and it would not be a good use of time this evening for me to go through those processes without that information.
So I'm one of the owners, and I just sold 2 acres today. So
Okay.
there's a new owner next to it, or we just closed on it today. And I don't think we would like to be part of the annexation, so I just wanna make sure that we'll have a chance to discuss it, and it's not forced.
We're pretty early in the process. There is a differentiation too between voluntary and super voluntary. Super voluntary would be like the subdivision, there, or if somebody expressly were to write a letter to us as well, asking to be brought in. Most utility customers that we have signed a basic consent to annexation as a utility customer. It's on your application for utility service, but we are very early in this process. The main properties we're targeting are actually south of you. So any specific questions you have, we can go through those and try to satisfy them. I mean, I don't want to force anybody to do something they don't want to do. But I would also like your tax money if we could convince you that direction, so.
Your zoning doesn't change when we annex,
Yeah,
so everybody
yeah,
knows.
nothing really changes, you just couldn't have a car up on blocks anymore in your driveway, that's about it, which you don't anymore. So,
And your tax dollars come here.
yeah. Yes, sir.
My fiance and I live in Northland Estates, and recently they put no parking signs up on the road that runs from like County Line towards Dollar General between 19 and Northland Estates, and it really puts all of our families that live right there, especially on County Line Road, in a predicament where if we like were to have a birthday party or any kind of Thanksgiving event or Christmas, we have no parking for anyone because we can't have people park in our front yard right on County Line Road. People already speed through there, and it's extremely dangerous as it is. And now that nobody can park, even if it was on one side of the road, it would be really beneficial for about everyone that lives, excuse me, lives in that housing addition. And I didn't know if that was something you guys could discuss in the future.
Or one side of the road, or we came up, there was a post on Facebook, of course, but, or like only certain hours you can park there, like if you have a visitor, or like
Sure.
something other.
Certain exceptions.
I mean, the no parking thing
So-
though, I am totally for during
Right.
Earthfest.
Right,
Well,
I agree.
Always.
I agree.
Especially now that we don't have that vehicle.
It's in your covenants, it's on the deed to your property.
Okay,
That has nothing to do with the town. The town made it no parking based on complaints that we had received about parking and also practical concerns with the width of the street, trash pickup, fire trucks, snow plowing, things like that. People park down both sides of the street, which is common, especially on a couple of the streets there. We have great difficulty. We're more than happy to entertain alternative solutions to that problem, but even if we would, irrespective of what this council does, you all probably need some kind of an association to manage these situations so that you can adjust your covenants needed, which is on the deed to your property.
Like discussing an HOA or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what most of the people in the community are against.
yeah, I know
Because
at
one of the-
least probably all of Allison Drive will leave if we get an HOA.
Right, one of the main reasons we moved into Northland Estates over the new housing addition in Cicero was no HOA.
But there was an HOA. There isn't, it's the developer out here until it's finished, and then one is to be started.
Yeah, and it was originally Century,
Well, just so you know, for Fusion, there has been it has been on the deed, on the plat out there since 1993.
no parking on the street, right?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
it has.
So I understand the concern,
Right.
especially for a temporary situation like a party or, you know, dinner or whatever. I would, not that it would necessarily ease someone's mind too much because it's not written down, but we would never target something like that. It's the people that use that as a driveway.
Right.
Would be our problem.
Understand.
So more car storage versus,
Right, temporary.
hey, Fred's coming over for the next 5 hours, you know.
Right,
Yeah, that's no big deal. So,
okay.
Okay, so visitors are okay, like if we don't have room in our driveway or whatever to park on the street just for a couple of hours?
It's not in
Or
the
is it-
ordinance. So the ordinance is no parking.
Okay,
Who enforces that ordinance?
Ordinance, we have a local ordinance enforcement officer,
Okay.
The
that's
guy
very
didn't
good.
show up tonight.
the guy that did not show up.
it only
and
has
that-
worked 7 hours.
So we're basically safe to say, if we wanna have a birthday party for one of our children, we can have kids parking instead of there.
They could, I mean, but, you know, the sheriff's department can also say something to you, or
Right.
write you a ticket too.
Because it's
Yeah.
counties that did that
Don't,
ordinance.
yeah, I mean, I guess don't get mad and do it, and then think, well, they said we could park out here.
Right, oh, yeah.
Because
That's
that
why-
won't be how it
that's why I
is.
Yeah,
Right.
it's, the ordinance still is no parking. And I would advise against parking on the street.
Well, when you're retired, like Debbie and I are, we can tell you who speeds, who blows the stop signs. I mean, and then when parking is, especially on both sides of the street, it's a nightmare waiting to
Well,
happen.
I can tell you two things that you're saying.
The lady came around the corner right where your kids live now and wiped out her entire mailbox. And your kids,
Really?
grandkids could have been playing there. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's a couple
Across
years
the
back.
street from you guys.
I can
Right.
totally understand.
So I don't think we can be too safe.
Sure.
Well,
And
we
that's the
don't
other
have.
thing with cars along the street, I will tell you,
Yeah.
I've seen it happen. I've been driving a fire truck and had a kid run out between a couple cars, you can't see him. So,
Right. Well, we don't have sidewalks and we don't have streetlights. And then with winter coming, it gets dark at 5 o'clock. If you wanna walk the neighborhood or walk to Dollar General,
You're on the street.
you're in the street. So if you've got cars parked everywhere, or people park their cars at the end of your driveway
Sure.
on the other side of the street, when there's room in between the houses, for some reason, people always park right opposite the driveways. And so, you know, the homeowner who wants to leave has to watch out that that's there. Besides, we do have a lot of kids in the neighborhood now that ride their bikes or skateboards or whatever, scooters and everything in the street. So ever since we've lived here, which is almost 8 years now, no one's parked on the street. It only happened when they added the Michael Drive and the Hopkins extension, that suddenly we've got people who, I don't know, I mean, you've got 2 cars in your garage and you can fit 4 in your driveway. That's, if you're gonna have more, then maybe you can ask your neighbor if it's okay.
And if you're living a busy lifestyle with a lot of cars, you might have to put in a third driveway or make some different arrangements in your house.
And that's,
To,
and our discussion up here when we passed that was, because obviously it's on the deed, like you said, but as far as the town's concerned, with the points we were getting, we decided to pass it, no parking on the street, no exceptions, knowing that we could revisit it later if we needed to, but I'm not sure that we're to the point where we need to. I think we're still fairly early on in that being an ordinance. It hasn't actually been fully enforced to this point, and we would, in order for us to have all the data points we need to know what it looks like when it's actually enforced, and then see what concerns are still there after that, so.
Another issue with the parking on either side of the street is that the rural route up there, the mail carrier delivers the mail. There's mailboxes on each side of the street, so that interferes with the mail delivery in subdivisions whenever the mailboxes are not on one side or the other. I used to work for a municipality that had a similar situation, housing addition built almost identical to this. And that became an issue. People had kids that got their driver's license and then they had additional vehicles to park in the car, drive, and the drive wasn't wide enough but for 2 cars, so it was doing a shuffle all the time. And, you know, they actually come to an agreement to where they actually put all the mailboxes on one side of the street and allowed one side parking only. Yeah, so, you know, but like I said, I worked there and it still made it a hassle for emergency vehicles, snow plowing, removal, and when you park a car there and you've gotta go out around and that narrows only, you know, the other side of the street down, so you're down to limited to a partial pathway through around a parked car. So it's just one of the things that, you know, to think about. It ain't that we just don't want people parking, period. It ain't, you know, if there was some kind of alternative that we could come up with, I'd be more than happy to address it and consider it. But right now with the situation, I think it'd be more of a problem, myself personally, to, you know, change
Some of
that at
us in
this
this
time.
room can remember when new houses came with 1-car garages. If any.
Yeah, I start saying, if you have a garage at all.
I had another thing. Is there anything besides obviously putting up speed limit signs, because we have done that, to help with slowing down people? At least I live on Allison Drive, so I know people fly through there all the time. And I didn't know if there was anything to consider to, besides, I just bought please slow down signs, but anything else that we could
Call the
do?
police.
Tickets.
So if we get a picture of like the license plate.
That would
can we-
help,
But even if you call them,
Yeah.
they track all that. They will start sitting and watching.
That's very good to know.
And 2355 is the, 292-2355 is the non-emergency number. It rings straight to dispatch.
so you don't have to, people are sometimes concerned about calling 911, not knowing if they have an
292.
emergency or not. You can just call that number, it takes you to
2355.
dispatch.
317 or 766?
765
Okay.
292-2355 will ring.
It's our old police.
It's our old
department
police number. It goes straight to dispatch when you call it.
For Hamilton County, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody goes through dispatch now.
Okay,
All the departments
awesome.
do. Yeah.
I appreciate that information.
You know, I tell everybody as well that, you know, if you have a problem with traffic and that sort of thing, the more times you call the police and complain, the more apt they're going to comply and get somebody out there. So I tell everybody, and that's the problem, is townwide speeding and
Oh, yeah.
everything. You know, it's townwide, it's not just up in your area. And it's bad. And so, you know, if you call the police 3 times a day, you know, don't feel intimidated by calling them.
Okay.
Call them and tell them you got a problem
That's what
and,
we're paying for.
yes.
Okay.
And take a picture. That way when the officer comes, you can show it to him and send it to him so he can keep an eye out for that vehicle.
And if it's somebody that's repeated, that goes through there, you know, on a routine time frame, about the same time every day, keep an eye on what time it is, and then let the police officer, when you call, if this car's coming through roughly at this time every day, I know that helps them a lot, and they caught several over on Central with that, knowing the time frame that to be watching for them. They'd come and set in around that time, and they nabbed them.
I'm making notes, I'm sorry, but thank you.
You're fine.
They will not do anything with just your call. So they're not gonna give a ticket based upon your report.
But
They have to actually see it, but they will be able
They
to.
will patrol based on
Yeah.
it.
They were patrolling pretty good there about a month ago and pulling people over almost every day and.
On county line?
Yeah, right on county line.
We like to watch.
I
I understand.
dangerous.
Any
Just an
other-
idea with the parking, is it like something that if it's just like special occasions that you guys are doing, have like a permit parking? So that way it's something that they come to the town and ask, hey, I've got this going on, is it possible to get a permit for so many hours? So that way it's still something that's an option for them, instead of putting on like County Line Road and all that kind of stuff, fun stuff. But that way you guys can say, yes, this time frame is allowable.
Sure.
And that way you can, usually if it's special occasions, it's usually evenings or weekends, so mail's not usually running, or if there's any kind of snowstorm, because of nice Indiana weather.
Right.
Usually that stuff's not going on at that point in time anyway, but it might be an option for them to at least
You know, the thing of it is, the way I see it is, once you start doing that, what you're doing, you're giving consent